Does anyone else?
I think we're live. I think we are live. So Gemineye and that girl say hello.
What's up, motherfuckers?
Hola.
Didn't he just get lax all of a sudden? He's like, we're live. Fucking, he's all nervous and shit before
Yeah, let's go.
It's fucking hilarious. How are you, that girl?
I'm fantastic.
Fantastic. So, you guys have been in my Discord server.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
How do you rate it? What's your summary? Is it or what level of cancer is it?
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I was I was sort of doing sneak like spies on different like fucking voice chats yesterday. It was fucking funny.
God.
Like I had to make a new account and all that, so like I wasn't me sort of thing. Like because otherwise they just go, oh, very good. and so I'm just in there spying. They're going, all right. General chat 1, we're going to raid general chat 3, and then we're going to fuck over. And like they're playing fucking wars against each other.
This morning, I went into a few of them, and number one was they were talking about white genocide, and they were talking about it for hours.
Yeah,
hours. I kept popping in there, and every single time I pop in there, they would literally be talking about the exact same thing, and I loved it. It was great.
Can you explain white genocide to me? I've never bothered to look into.
White people aren't having babies, or white people are having babies with not white people, as in the bad people, the bad not whiteys.
Right.
So apparently that's a genocide.
That's just white people not fucking enough. Well, no, not
exactly.
Not fucking enough.
Well,
just pulling out too much.
Well, no, we can't leave the hyperbolic reactionary shit to the SJWs. We got to have them on all sides. So, thus, it's a genocide, even though it's just because we're not fucking enough.
And Gemineye, I was watching one of your videos yesterday. Your owl girl, fucking
Oh yeah.
little stint. Give us your summary of owl girl. What's owl girl about?
Oh, she's a hoot. She's basically like.
Oh my god.
She's basically like an S. She's an SJW that like pretends not to be an SJW. And she makes crazy, or she used to make. She quit YouTube basically, but
because of you.
Yeah, she used to make like trending topic videos, and like her voice.
Yeah. Yeah. It was...
Sounds like a car alarm.
Did she quit YouTube because of you? You cunt.
She never.
I think she got into a weird thing with Rory.
Yeah, it was Rory
really?
first.
Is
then
there more to this saga?
And then me.
I've only seen the Gemineye branch of this saga. It must have more layers than I thought. So she went to war with Rory as well.
Yes,
yep.
First.
Nice.
And then Sue herself featured it. Then I tackled onto it, and then she really after that she hates me. She hates me.
Yeah.
She came back to stream the other day just to like say hi to her fans, and like me and everyone in my Discord just trolled the chat. Pretty funny.
Was that the one? Did you make a video about that?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Video about what?
About trolling her chat.
Oh no! My second video was like a while back. It was during like right after I had made that video. She made a stream then too.
Right. Yeah.
I should have though.
No, see, so I thought my sort of logic said that you had been attracted to Owl Girl because you were an owl, and like that's how it works.
That is why I made the video originally. I was like, oh,
Birds
that's a
of
cool
a feather
shtick.
flock together.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, what is in your Discord? What's a cuck squad? And why am I in it?
I didn't make it. I assume it's some sort of shame bin. Like you get pushed.
I'm like one of 6 people in it.
Are you really? I don't know. I'd say
Baron Cab was like, "Hey, you're in this."
I'd say yeah. Baron Cab probably made it. Baron Cab or Jeff or someone. I don't know. That doesn't sound good, does it?
I have no clue what that is.
Let's. So this is what I've got at the start of this video is just an exchange of tweets between Laci Green and Steve Shives this morning. So have you guys? I know you have Gemineye. Have you watched Laci Green's latest video? That girl.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yep. I liked it. I actually have a lot of respect for her now. Yeah. I have more respect than I did because I mean, even if she's like people are saying that she's doing it just like for the money or whatever, and I honestly don't care. As long as she's open to discussion, I think that discussion is the most important thing. And I'd love to I'd love to be a part of a discussion, but I'd love to see all of the discussions that she has in the future because she's going to have discussions. Yeah. And I've said discussion too many times.
Yeah. It sounds funny now. What do you think, Al?
Oh, of the Laci Green? It was good. I liked it. You know, I'm not too familiar with her, but yeah, I was like, that's cool. I like to see the debates.
You never watched?
Like it'd be a cool discussion.
You never got into the old Laci Green, the old sex positive fucking. What was that show called? It was fucking. Do you remember what a show was called?
Well, she had Braless.
Braless, yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is that honestly, I would be more, or I'd be less likely to like believe her because of the stuff that she said on Braless, and she was very anti-discussion and everything's problematic on Braless, but I don't think she wrote her scripts. Like, I don't think that she wrote her scripts.
It was more just stupid stuff on Braless. I found it was more the stuff she got up to, like with the with her run-in with Roaming Millennial. Remember how she false denunciated?
That was.
But that could have been out of ignorance, though. That she didn't. Seem like she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, I think that someone might have. I mean, this is a maybe, but someone might have, tipped her off of something, and she just didn't look into it and was like, "Oh, okay, I'll flag this." I don't know what goes through people's minds.
Like it was for a photo of hers on a thumbnail, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
that's a bit of a stretch.
My favorite thing is the reactions. I love the reactions, which obviously.
To who? I guess to Laci.
Oh, to Laci Green. Yeah. Yes.
There'll be some interesting ones. I wonder what old Johnny Fox will say. He'll probably crack the shits, I reckon. He's a laugh. Let's have a look. Nobody needs friends. Nobody needs to be friends with anyone else, Kay. But it's pretty alarming to frame political censorship and thought policing as productive. So that's in response to, I don't know if you can read that fucking Steve Shives message. I don't want to make friends with anti-feminists. Rah, rah, rah. Actually, no, that's an important one. For far more productive to befriend someone at YouTube who could delete all their channels.
Oh, shit.
He's a fucking... I mean, that... Oh, my God.
Isn't that a kind of a thing to say? So that's what she was. That's what she's responding to there. What do we got next?
It's classic, Steve. It's classic. I'm not surprised Steve said that, but fuck's sake, Steve, have some more class.
I don't want to make friends with anti-feminists. Oh, this is the one. Far more productive to befriend someone at YouTube who could delete all their channels. That's fucked, isn't it?
That's so fucked, man. I can't even believe you said that. Like openly.
Look! Look! You can look at the very side, the very right, and there's Michael.
Yeah, he used to, and MKII, and I'm surprised Fisty's not there. I'm not advocating political censorship. I'm advocating not wasting time making nice with abusive, dishonest, opportunistic people.
Yep.
Like the type of people who delete channels.
Yeah.
No, it's the type that are quote unquote rape apologists.
Yeah. It's not just that I disagree with them. It's that they're Nazis.
They're scum of the earth. I mean, they're basically, honestly, murderers are better than they are.
deleting professional bigots and harassers from social media platforms isn't censorship.
We're going with the most technical term. Yeah, sure. But
no,
if we're being real
here,
here,
it is. Even if they are
it is
honestly fucking harassers and bigots, like it's still, you're still censoring a harasser and a bigot. Yes. It might be justified, but it's still fucking censorship, isn't it?
If they're not breaking the terms of service, fuck's sake. I mean, seriously, you're not they're not breaking terms of service.
No, but what I'm saying is, even if they are breaking the terms of service, it's still...
Oh, yeah.
Censorship isn't always strictly a bad thing. You know, if someone breaks the rules, yeah, fair enough, it's fine to censor them. You know, but like, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Of course it is, you fucking idiot. But the people he's calling bigots and harassers are just people who don't bow to feminism. Abuse is one thing, but banning channels... Yeah, so this is good. I like this, Laci. Abuse is one thing, but banning channels you disagree with is political censorship. A level, I think she means, of civility is necessary to understand each other. Well done. I think I actually said good on you,
Building
Laci.
bridges.
Yeah, that's a new Laci. I wonder what he says.
Well, she did befriend memes. And that is a step in the right direction for anybody, if you ask me.
I've still got to... I didn't watch it. I've still got to see it. But apparently, there was a game of Quiplash with Mems and Jeff and Laci.
Yeah, and Rags.
And there was a few sort of risque things and apparently Laci gets a little bit awkward at times. I'd love to see that. Maybe a swastika or two.
Yeah.
It's upsetting to hear you repeating the same "you just want to silence disagreement" bit I hear from the likes of Carl Benjamin and TJ Kirk.
Oh, that terrible Carl Benjamin.
Wait for it. And I mean genuinely upsetting.
Oh my god, boo fucking who? Boo hoo, Steve.
It's not just upsetting, it's genuinely upsetting.
Yeah, just to hammer it home, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, he basically cried himself to sleep tonight. I'm sure he did. I mean, his wife probably was just like, Steve, you're a fucking pussy right now, okay? Women go through much worse, okay? Women go through worse.
Yeah, she's giving him the treatment like in the start of their fucking movie. She's going, "You're a fucking piece of shit failure, cunt, fuck you." She read him the riot act in that, didn't she? It was funny. We got any more? Oh, I'm talking about banning people who use the platform to promote bigotry and intolerance. Oh, and perpetuate white supremacy and rape culture.
Yes, that's what Jeff Holiday does.
How can a bloke that has a fucking block list that big preach about intolerance? I don't get it.
It's called the what is it, the intolerant, it's something about, he mentions it in his fucking video. He's basically in love with the concept, the paradigm of tolerance.
Right. Oh yeah, that confusing fucking statement he does where he goes, a tolerant society can't tolerate intolerance for the tolerant.
Oh my god! I mean, seriously, he basically wants to stick his dick, his barely there dick, in the concept of the paradigm of tolerance or whatever the fuck it is.
It's like there's like 6 layers of tolerance or something in this statement. I think that might be it. Oh no, they just have to work a lot harder to spread their bullshit, hateful message to a vast audience.
Oh my god!
And wouldn't that just be awful?
Awful.
But hang on a sec. Steve wants to delete us. He wants to delete us, so we're not around. So it wouldn't matter how hard we work, we're not getting a message to our audience anymore because we're deleted.
Well, you know what? You know where you'd belong, Bearing, on the street corner.
Oh yeah. Atop an apple cart. Atop an apple cart.
You don't belong on the corner for speech. You belong on the corner for for other reasons. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get money.
Are you talking about
shitlord.
prostitution?
Yes, I am talking about prostitution here. You're going to have to prostitute, not sugar tits. You.
Oh, how's this right? I was in my fucking office working on something last night, and I for some reason I listened to a song or something. I had to listen to something with the headphones. I forget what it was, and Sugar Tits was on a live stream with someone I don't know, and I've put my headphones on. I've listened to this thing, and I get off, and I just hear Sugar Tits going. Oh, that's because I was playing the live stream on my phone, so I couldn't hear it momentarily. But when I took the headphones off, I could hear it again, and I just hear Sugar Tits go. Yeah, so, do blokes, like, when you guys shit, do you need to piss as well? Like, is that a thing? Like, because when I shit, I have to piss as well. Is that a bloke thing as well? Dirty bitch. My girl.
What kind of music do you listen to, Baron?
Listen to everything, man. Listen to absolutely
God.
everything. So
like white people music?
Yeah, I listen to white people music. Well, what do you call white people music?
Like anything that's not rap.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I listen to. I like old music. I like.
Okay, and jazz and country and gospel. Isn't that what everything black people have ever invented?
Yeah, we know
music in general.
Yeah, but
you can't listen to music in general. Hidden Colors told me that black people invented music, probably.
Black people invented everything. Everything.
Yeah. We was kings and shit.
Yeah. I listen to old music. I like Buddy Holly and like the Everly Brothers and a bit of Johnny Cash and
Buddy Holly.
But I also like like punk and shit as well. I like everything, absolutely everything. I like a bit of.
What's the song on your videos?
Which one?
Like the outro music.
Oh, that's my band.
Oh really?
Yeah. That's about 5 years ago.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's a song called Recession Session, and the words are give me better days, give me better days. I've had that many fucking variations. Bearing, is it roll me better dice? Is it fucking? I've had some weird shit. Anyway, don't they have a right to be publicly bigoted for a living?
For a living?
Fuck it. Well, that's exactly what Steve is, for fuck's sake.
You know what, Steve? Do you have a right to be a fucking retard on the internet for a living? No. No one has a right to anything. You don't have a right to be like, doing your fucking sex scenes with your stuffed animals.
Yeah, your plushies. They're fucking weird, aren't they?
Stuffy.
They're fucking weird. I wonder what you gotta wonder, like is his missus ever just like cooking dinner? And like, imagine she just walks out the lounge room to tell him dinner's gonna be ready in 10 minutes, and he's ever so carefully like putting the teddy bears like into position. Like, it's just so weird to think about. I think that's got to be it. Got to be onto the video. Yeah.
There's an excellent op-ed published today in the New York Times.
Can we hear that? All right.
Yep.
Yes, I can.
Chat, can you hear that? All right, chat.
It'll be a sec.
It's amazing how we stop and wait, isn't it? Come on, chat. We can't continue.
Come on, can you hear it, guys? Jesus
Come on,
Christ.
guys. Come on, guys.
You have one job.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Nice.
It right here. It's called "What Snowflakes Get Right About Free Speech," and it's by Ulrich Baer. And it's petty, but I don't like the fact that his last name's Baer, and
I actually
and he refers to him as Baer. He doesn't refer to him as Ulrich through the fucking art. He refers to him as Baer. I think he did that to get.
Honestly, Ulrich is a shit name.
Yeah, no, it's hard to pronounce too. Like, well, it's not hard to pronounce, but it's inconvenient to pronounce, like in the middle of a sentence to say Ulrich. You know what I mean?
Ulrich.
Like it's an effort.
I cannot recommend it to you highly enough. In the piece, Ulrich Baer describes how these student protesters who have come out to stand against speakers such as Milo Yiannopoulos or Richard Spencer in recent weeks and months at college campuses across the United States. These students who have often been attacked and vilified by people on the right.
The students have been the ones that have been attacking, mate.
Yeah.
No, they're just it's just self-defense.
Yeah.
It's self-defense, you know.
Free speech or putting their own feelings and their own sensitivities ahead of stalwart principles of the republic, like free speech, are snowflakes, and they just need to be silenced or shamed into going back to their dorms. And
that's what he gets out of this. So out of this whole thing, he thinks, how dare you people? You know, you just want them to go back to their dorms and be snowflakes.
Yeah, and just like, you know, just deal with it, because you know what? Guess what? Other people invited these people. You don't have to go listen to them. Get the fuck over yourself. You're not the center of the universe. Fuck's sake. I mean, that's the thing, is that there are plenty of events that go on my campus. There was this thing called the Tunnel of Oppression that went on my campus.
Really? Did you go?
While I wanted to, but I forgot about it. But I didn't have to go. They didn't force me to go.
The Tunnel of Oppression.
Seriously. It sounded really interesting. I forgot that it was happening.
Was there an actual tunnel? I've got to know. Did they fashion a tunnel out of something?
I think they did, and I think that they like hurled like racial insults to people to like show that that's what what it feels like to be oppressed.
The insult tunnel.
Yeah, basically like a haunted house, but of, you know, racism, sexism, transphobia.
Get back in the kitchen.
Make me a sandwich. Bitch.
Fuck, that's funny. I'd love a video of the oppression tunnel. If the oppression tunnel's doing, if it's touring the United States and someone else happens to go, can you please videotape it for me?
Yeah.
Studying instead of going out and hitting the streets and protesting people like Spencer or
hitting the streets. They're going out and hitting people, mate. That's the problem. The streets are fine.
Monopolis. Bear argues.
See, Bear.
Really, really persuasively and really articulately that it is actually those folks, the so-called snowflakes, who are the true champions of free speech, not the apologists and the defenders of...
Thoughts? How did you arrive there, that girl? You did a in-depth video about this.
Oh, it was not very in-depth. I just sat there and responded to it. But I don't know how the fuck anybody could come to the conclusion that someone who literally goes to an event that is literally optional to go to, you aren't forced to go to this, and people who go there to shut it down because, you know, oh, well, they're such fascists. If people listen to them, if people voluntarily listen to them, oh my God, they might go and gas the Jews. They might go invade Poland, for fuck's sake. Yeah. No, I don't know how anybody in their right mind with half a brain, which honestly I'm not surprised because these people don't actually have brains. I don't know how anybody could come to that conclusion at all, because it's just antithetical to the concept of free speech. They're not champions of fucking anything except being sad, pathetic little cunts who can't take criticism.
Yeah. Fuck, what was I going to say? What do you reckon?
Hey, fuck you, Daniela. How about that?
He's Daniela in the chat.
People make fun of my laugh. I'm sorry. I'm a black hole on the stream. You know what I mean? You really fucked up here.
No, man. No. You just.
I'm adding nothing.
No, man. You're coming into your stride. Just harden the fuck up and get into it, cunt. Or fucking...
Well, I make everything better. I make everything better, so it evens it out. I make everything so much better. Yeah. I just add so much.
We'll start again, Jen. We'll start again from now, right? All right, new leaf. Okay.
Yeah. Let's restart the stream, everyone. Right?
Okay. No, we're not restarting the stream. We're gonna start again from now, like a new leaf, a new chance. So.
Okay, new chapter.
Cunt, be entertaining, cunt.
Spencer and Yiannopoulos and all of the other assorted deplorable people, the hate mongers and purveyors of ignorance and intolerance.
Purveyors of ignorance.
Oh, and intolerance. Intolerance. I'm starting to get triggered by that word just as much as, oh my God, okay, yeah, she meant me instead of you. So I'm the one with the annoying laugh.
Oh, is this
okay?
Is this
so
still that person
congratulations.
In the chat? Is this still the person in the chat you're talking about?
Yeah.
Who, what?
I just saw them. They just said, yeah, Daniela said that my laugh was the one that was annoying. So you're good. You're good, bro. I'm the one that was annoying.
For some reason, been granted platforms on college campuses.
For some reason, they've been granted platforms because they've been invited. Fuckhead, they've been invited.
They've been invited. I'm in a college group. I mentioned this in my video. I'm in a college group that invited Milo. It's not something that just they don't just invite themselves. They don't just like, oh well, I think I'm gonna go to this campus, and then they invite themselves, and they don't go and like, I think I'm going to I think I'm going to go invite myself to Berkeley. I'm gonna go contact the local Republican chapter and invite myself. They'll be fine with that. Yeah. No. Students invite them. They actually fundraise a lot of times for these people. Like I in my group, we want to get Ben Shapiro, but we can't afford him because he's really expensive.
How much does Ben Shapiro
because he's
cost?
Jewish.
Because he's Jewish.
A lot of money.
Right.
I'm just.
he makes really good points, but he's so weird.
Yeah.
It's because he's Jewish. That's what it is.
Is he really?
Just kidding. Yes, he's very.
You know what
Jewish.
annoys me the most is the fucking pen in his shirt. I hate it.
Well, you're talking Steve here.
Oh, who are you talking about?
We're talking about Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
I was thinking Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
Ben Shapiro.
My biggest problem. Exactly. My
he
biggest problem
like
with
a
Steve
douche.
is the fact that he's my biggest problem with Steve is the fact that he's a fucking pussy with a receding hairline who can't not wear a hat because well, I mean, I've got a full beard but I don't have any hair.
I'd love.
You think he has multiple of those hats? Or it's just
definitely. I'd love to see what he looks like without that hat. In fact, I was on a stream. I did a stream a few weeks ago where we were telling someone to fucking. I offered money to someone to pinch his hat at like the next Reason rally. He was going to do it. I forget who that was. But yeah, his hair would be fucked. Because remember what he looked like in that movie, that girl. Like he was pretty shockingly bald.
Oh my god!
But we're talking about appearance. Let's keep it professional.
With alarming frequency over the last few years. And in this piece, Bear covers a lot of really interesting ground.
Why does he jump from space to space like a fucking spaz?
Yeah,
Stay in one place. Sit down, okay? Sit down, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, does anyone else do that? Like with jump cuts, does Onishi or anyone like jump cut across the room?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think I've seen it a few different times, but he's the one who annoys me the most about it. Because I mean, I literally, I mean, even though my setup is on the floor because I have no other option, I just sit down and I don't move around. You just sit in one place. Just don't. No.
Yeah, I sit in my own play. I don't even have to be on camera. I just sit in my underwear. It's awesome.
I'm in a robe.
I am.
I love robes. Underrated.
Nice.
Good. I don't like to wear pants.
Tell us more.
That's why I film from my shoulders up, like.
In situations like this, he talks about the idea that there are certain topics that really shouldn't be held up for public debate, that universities shouldn't feel a responsibility to host debates over. If there is a proposed debate or a proposed sort of implied debate, which is often the excuse used when awful people like Spencer and Yiannopoulos and others of their ilk are invited to speak at college campuses, the excuse made by people.
The excuse.
It's not an excuse. It's not. They have that right. They have that right, or else it is viewpoint discrimination.
Yeah.
It's a fucking legal case. It is a legal case. It is viewpoint discrimination if you do not host different speakers if you only host speakers of left-wing left-wing sides and you don't do it on the right wing if you refuse.
All he's really saying here is I've got a big problem with things that I don't like being said.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's just doing that in more words than that. That's all he's doing.
And they basically just cover that opinion in the idea that, oh well, universities they're sacred. They're learning places. Well, that's that you learn. You learn in those places. You can learn to deal with having fucking criticism. You pussy.
Yeah, conflicting opinions. You've got to learn how to critically manage the information and conflicting information being shot at you.
It's at the point.
Yeah, you don't learn from an echo chamber. You got to learn from controversy and debate.
Exactly.
Who, even by people who claim not to want to defend their ideology, they say, well, we need to hear them out because their ideas need to be heard in order to be argued about and rejected. And Bear makes the point that in most cases, people like Richard Spencer and Milo Yiannopoulos have nothing new to say and will...
What does that mean, nothing new to say? What? That doesn't make sense. But there's, it's not, doesn't have to be something new. It's new people. There's constantly new people coming in. So to them it's new. You know?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Not to mention, it's not like Steve has anything new to say. He's been saying the same exact thing for fucking years.
Yeah, but the thing that pisses you off is that he's had the benefit of being able to look at all these things and assess them and decide whether he thinks they're good things or not. And he means to take that away, that experience away from younger people. It's fucking sickening.
Yeah.
Not be informing anyone in the audience about their views or telling anyone anything that they haven't heard already.
What? New people, Steve. New students coming. Anything they haven't heard. He thinks everyone's him. He thinks everyone's got his point of view. He's a fucking idiot.
You are merely, by giving them an audience, by giving them a platform, you are merely enabling them and allowing them to perpetuate.
So that girl, I mean, no one's giving, like, so when your university group, hired, like Milo, or, how they want to hire Ben Shapiro, you're not giving them really a platform. It's a case of the group wants to hear them.
Yes. It's a case of a person giving a speech, and there's always question and answer portions. It's not like people can't ask questions. It's not like you can't.
Like, it's not some gift. You're not gifting Ben Shapiro with time in front of an audience. You're seeking his knowledge.
Yeah, and people come to listen. They're not obligated to come. They come because they want to. I mean, like, honestly, with in the case of Milo on my campus, I talked to a few people afterwards because it was still I didn't even bring it up, but people kept bringing it up. And this one guy who was the president of the was it Gay Straight Alliance on campus, he said that
Alliance, did you say?
Yes.
That sounds odd for some reason.
Yeah, wow. And he was the president of the Gay Straight Alliance, and he was talking about how he didn't go because he didn't want to listen to Milo. And I was like, that's fine. But then he said that the group who hosted him was shitty, and I was sitting there like, you can't talk about that. You can't talk about how you're in the group and say that, well, I also am a shitty person. Thank you. But and then I talked to another guy who said that he went and listened to Milo and he loved hearing his opinion, and he disagreed with him, but he loved hearing differing opinion because it strengthens his own opinion.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing, is that people who disagree and haven't heard those different opinions, they will never know how to disagree with these opinions. That's the thing about the SJWs, is that Steve Shives has probably forgotten long ago how to actually disagree with people.
Yeah.
And debate people, actually debate people, because you need to strengthen that. You need to listen to opinions that are different from your own to actually be able to last in the world.
He's debating a fucking camera. I mean, I found it really interesting listening to Roaming Millennial interview. What's his name? Richard Spencer. I knew very little about Richard Spencer before that interview. And I don't agree with him. I strongly disagree with him. But it was fascinating listening to him say his piece and getting an understanding of what he believes.
Yeah, and the thing is that it wasn't a debate. It was a discussion. It was an interview. It was it wasn't meant to be her sitting there and just constantly giving him piece by piece of criticism. It was her.
You almost don't want an adversarial environment, because if you're providing all this sort of this contest and this strong argument like they're demanding, like Spino and that were demanding, then I kind of want to hear him sit there and lay out his beliefs, because I can judge whether they're shit or not. I'm I can do that. I mean, I'm intelligent enough to do that. You don't have to fucking do it for me. You're going to get a different set. You're going to hear it differently. You're going to get a different sort of form of his beliefs laid out if it's in an adversarial environment, aren't you?
Yeah, so you're going to get less of his opinion. You're not going to get as much. You're going to get the family friendly, the tailor cut to apply to anybody argument, because that's the kind of argument you give to people who are adversarial. You don't get into the controversial stuff as much. Yeah. Even though Richard Spencer is a very controversial person on the outset, he has some opinions, I'm sure, that are even more controversial than the ones we already know about him. So the fact is that being civil with him and letting him speak his piece and letting him spout his shit ideas, he very well might give more of his opinions than he would if he was being, if it was adversarial, if it was like, you're my enemy, not like I hate your opinions, your shitty opinions, but here's a nice interview.
And he might put forward a view that you go, well, that's great. I completely agree with that. That's not what happened, but it was always it's a possibility, I think it's important to be open to that.
It's a discussion. It's not always supposed to be a fight.
Did you listen to that, Gemineye? Did you listen to Roaming's interview with him?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you dickhead.
I actually don't know who Richard Spencer is.
Really? Richard Spencer's...
I've heard the name, but...
He's the guy that got... Remember the guy that got sucker punched on Inauguration Day? This so-called neo-Nazi?
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, Antifa fuckheads fucking, sucker punched him.
Is he actually a Nazi, or...?
Well, no, I mean...
Or white supremacist, I mean.
A lot of people insist that he's an actual Nazi, but he's not an actual Nazi. He's not. He's got some fucking some very questionable views, but I've never heard him spread actual violence or anything. Certainly not compared to the violence that I've seen his opponents dish out on him. Put it that way.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Their hatred and their intolerance and propagate their twisted and in many cases harmful and dangerous ideology. And I've linked to the piece in the description box of this video. I urge all of you to go read it. But there is one particular passage that I want to share with you. Ulrich Baer says, quote, "The idea of freedom of speech does not mean a blanket permission to say anything anybody thinks."
It doesn't?
Oh my God.
It does.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means, actually.
It means balancing the inherent value of a given view with the obligation to ensure that other members of a given community can participate in discourse as fully recognized members.
I've never heard that before. It means balancing the inherent value of a given view with the obligation to ensure that other members of a given community can participate in discourse as fully recognized members of that community. What? That's fucking bullshit.
You're fucking pussy. It's a bunch of shit. It is not that's not what freedom of speech is. Okay, that's not at all what it is. I have a book and it actually has a really good description.
Saying balance feelings. Make sure everyone feels involved.
Yeah, and Steve actually goes later in the video. He talked about how you want the most freedom of speech for the most people. No, it's for everyone or no one. That's what it's for.
There's no selective free speech. That's oxymoronic.
Yeah, and who the fuck is he to talk about the most free speech for the most people? Who the cunt's block list again? Fuck.
I know.
Community. Free speech protections, not only but especially in universities, which aim to educate students in how to belong to various communities, should not mean that...
What was that? What's that about? What's it?
Free speech protections. See, well, first of all, free speech protections means that these censorship things means that they're protected under free speech, not the censorship is like your protections from free speech. First of all, under the court case Healy versus James, that's not the case. Free speech applies to all universities except for ones that are private. Public universities, if you have any federal funding or state funding, you have to follow the First Amendment.
But hang on, isn't he saying free speech protections not only but especially in universities, which aim to educate students? So what's he saying here? What's he saying that you objected?
Because I mean, it's not legal. That's not how the law works at all. Because honestly, at the very end of the sentence, it's like, free speech protections should not mean that someone's humanity or their right to participate in political speech as political agents can be freely attacked, demeaned, or questioned. That is hate speech kind of shit.
Yeah.
Someone's humanity or their right to participate in political speech as political agents can be freely attacked, demeaned, or questioned. Bear also points out how the abilities of folks in marginalized groups, for instance, trans people, people of color, undocumented immigrants, and the list goes on, have been attacked and undermined by others in the name of freedom of speech.
How? When? Where? How have trans people or any marginalized group ever been attacked in the name of free speech? Oh, he's talking about Jordan Peterson, isn't he? He's talking about the fucking He's,
their feelings.
Do you reckon that's a reference to Jordan Peterson? That's the only thing I can think of with that.
Probably.
Pronoun shit.
And that reminds me, as many things in this discussion often do, of the paradox of tolerance. Which
here we go.
I have spoken about in videos of before, and a lot of.
We got to let him go through all of this paradox of tolerance because it's brilliant.
Of the paradox of tolerance, which is something that I have spoken about in videos before, and a lot of you already know what it is, but just in case you haven't heard of the paradox of tolerance, it was stated most famously by Karl Popper, who said that if you want a truly tolerant society, the one thing you must not be tolerant of is intolerance. The paradox is there can be no such thing as perfect tolerance.
So can you repeat that girl?
There cannot be no such thing as perfect tolerance. They can't. You can't
start with something about a tolerant society.
You want.
If you want a tolerant society, you
gotta
be intolerant.
Most famously by Karl Popper, who said that if you want a truly tolerant society,
the
one thing you must not.
The one thing you must not tolerate.
Be tolerant of is intolerance.
Yep. You can't. To be tolerant, you gotta be intolerant.
It's a perpetual circle.
Well, it makes as much sense as Steve Shives usually does.
The paradox is there can be no such thing as perfect tolerance. Because if you are tolerant of everything, including intolerance, then ultimately intolerance will take over. The intolerant will impose their will on the tolerant.
What?
Okay. Here. Isn't being intolerant of intolerance you imposing your intolerance on those who are intolerant?
Yeah, exactly. It is. Yeah. No, but that's
paradox.
Being intolerant to fight for tolerance, you see. Yeah, I'm going to do that again.
And you will wind up with a final product of an intolerant society, which was allowed to happen in the name of tolerance.
But
look at that freeze frame.
You not being tolerant of intolerance does mean that it is actually an intolerant society because you were intolerant of the intolerance. So thus, you don't actually have a tolerant society. You have an intolerant society
but it was in the name of tolerance. The intolerance was in the name of tolerance.
You know what? The ends justify the means.
See, a lot of folks in the atheist and skeptical community especially believe
The
that
skeptic
when
community?
they are defending the rights
yeah.
of awful people like Spencer or Yiannopoulos, or awful groups like neo-Nazi groups, or the
Antifa,
Ku Klux Klan, or other white supremacist or white nationalist groups to speak, that they are doing...
To speak. When they are defending their right to speak. For fuck's sake, cunt. This is...
You know who...
What's his
you know
video
also,
called? Fucking freedom of speech are us or something? Fuck me.
See, the ACLU, a
What?
group that I'm sure Steve, the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union,
Yeah.
a group that I'm sure Steve loves, along with the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, who is, by the way, very intolerant against Pakistanis, which I find to be disgusting.
Really?
Honestly, yes. The SPLC has actually made an article about Kekistan. Because what the hell else are they going to do?
Yeah.
Honestly, but the ACLU has in the past many different times defended Nazis and defended white supremacists, defended the KKK for cross burning. I mean, that's the thing, is that this group that I know for a fact Steve agrees with has in the past many different times defended the rights to speak and the rights to do things such as cross burning of the KKK.
And Steve just turns
in the
turns
name
a
of free
blind eye.
speech. I know.
Yeah, I can see him doing that.
something good, that they're defending the principle of freedom of speech, and they think, well, I have to defend freedom of speech for people like that because I want to preserve it for people like me and for other people.
Yeah, exactly right. What's wrong with that statement? That's a perfectly logical statement.
Yes. That's the point.
And that's a wonderful idea, and that's a wonderful concept, and it's a wonderful principle, but I don't think that it translates to real life.
Well, then how would you run things, Steve? Who has the right? Who has the rights?
It's actually, I brought this up in my video. Who has the majority right now in this country, in America specifically? Not the Democrats. It's Trump and the Republicans. So who can impose limits on free speech, and who would do it in the way they want it to be done, and not the way Steve wants it to be done? Yeah. It would be the Republicans. They would be censoring things left and right if you took away those protections. You fucking idiot.
Did you just on that? Did you hear? Did you see the thing a week and a half ago about Trump's one of his ministers, or what have you got over there? I don't have ministers. What is it? Secretaries or something?
Yeah, secretary. Is it
was doing an interview on the morning show or something? Was talking about them potentially trying to change the libel laws in the First Amendment.
Yeah, you can't do that unless you do a Supreme Court case.
Yeah, but
libel laws.
What's your view? What are your thoughts on them wanting to try?
Oh, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they want to try is just disgusting.
Yeah.
And
it sort of unsettled me a bit. It didn't.
Oh yeah, I absolutely hate it, because I don't even want people to try that, because first of all, the executive branch, that is not their place as the executive branch. They don't create laws, they enforce the laws. And the judicial, they interpret the laws, and the laws that have been interpreted about libel are very loose for a reason. So opening them up is first of all, it's not a possibility unless something changes drastically. But even if it does happen, I strongly oppose that, because that is not free speech. That is censorship at its very purest level.
Look, I can understand Trump's concern with some of the just ridiculous shit that's been written about. You know, when you're seeing, you know, articles written about you and your administration that are just blatantly false, it must it's going to piss you off, and it's not right. So I can understand his concern, but it's not the right thing to
see.
To look at
That's actually the thing is that
Constitution.
The libel laws in America, they are under for political members of the president, Senate members, even police officers and police chiefs. They are done under a thing called the actual malice. It's New York Times actual malice.
It's all public. It's all public figures. So it could be it could be a YouTuber would be treated the same as the president. You could be. I mean, you obviously an Australian, but someone, say Chris Ray Gun, who has a rather large amount of subscribers, could be considered because it's a celebrity of basically any sort. So it's done in a way. You need actual malice and reckless disregard for the truth, and I think another thing to prove that something is libel, and you basically have to be a mind reader, and there's a reason for that, and so that political figures and people who are extremely rich can't impose censorship upon. So I was just going to ask.
Publication.
I was just going to ask: does it ever happen? Does anyone ever successfully? Sue
a few times
with actual proving actual malice.
Yeah, it's rare, but but the fact that it's been proven proves. I mean, the exceptions prove the rule, and I can't remember exactly what. I know it was a celebrity, but I know that a celebrity has successfully argued actual malice. Yeah. But it's not often. But it's done that way for a reason, and I agree with it.
Yeah.
Perfectly. I think that if you truly care about freedom of speech, and the situation you want to see realized is the maximum number of people able to exercise their freedom of speech in our society, able to participate in political conversations, especially in ways that will be recognized and valued. And if you particularly would like to see this happen for groups of people who have been historically disenfranchised, who have been historically ignored or silenced or erased, whose contributions and ideas and voices have not been valued, then I don't see how you can justify choosing to defend neo-Nazis and people like Richard Spencer and people like Milo Yiannopoulos when they are protested, when their events are shut down by students.
Because it's a universal fucking right, you fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. It's like he sort of he makes sense up until halfway through the statement, and then just fucking loses his shit. And look at that expression.
I love it. It's a good screen game.
Students at those colleges who have simply had enough and refuse to allow people like that to use their microphones and their stages and their venues to speak to their audience and spread their hatred and intolerance.
It's not just the protesters. It doesn't belong just to the protesters. It belongs to the students that invite him as well.
Yes, but
if you believe in freedom of speech, you should be on the side of the protesters.
Oh, fuck off.
That's such bullshit.
Yeah.
You should be not defending the rights of people like Spencer and Yiannopoulos.
You should not be defending the rights of people trying to hold a free speech rally.
The rights. Defending people's rights.
Yeah.
And others like that to spread their hatred. This is not an easy issue because we are human beings, we are imperfect, and there will never be a perfect system for determining who it is best to listen to and platform and who it is best to ignore.
So just listen to Steve. Just listen to Steve.
But we can at least decide amongst ourselves that the principle we should follow is not only freedom of speech, but guaranteeing freedom of speech to the largest possible number of people.
How do you do that in your day-to-day life, Steve? How do you practice that? Why should I believe that you are sincere when you make this statement? You know, if I was to look at your fucking Twitter channel, fuckhead. He doesn't put these two things together, does he?
Nope.
Maximum freedom of speech, and we should not let our idealization of the principle of perfect freedom of speech or perfect tolerance prevent us from achieving the attainable goal of maximum tolerance or maximum freedom of speech. A society where people who push ignorance and intolerance and hateful, dehumanizing ideologies are, legally speaking, free to say whatever they wish, but practically speaking, are not invited on prominent radio or TV shows or podcasts or YouTube channels.
But you're not the
Jelly, bro.
You're not the one inviting them, Steve. How the fuck can you say that?
Yep. And I've said this before, and a lot of people have said this. Either everyone is free or no one is free. If you are putting limits on people, how is it free? It's not free.
Yeah, imagine his ideal world is a world of everyone's for the left. Everyone's left. Like, imagine how. Imagine the far left being able to reign free. Fucking hell.
Oh Jesus.
That's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a nightmare. There would be no world.
Are not given lucrative book deals, are not invited to speak on stage at colleges and universities, and generally speaking, find it difficult, if not impossible, to amplify and spread their awful messages beyond their little circle of ignorance and hate.
Oh.
That sounds pretty damn good to me.
He just described himself.
Bigotry wrapped in a veneer of acting like you were the one fighting for tolerance. That's what Steve Shives is. He's a bigot. Yes, with a stupid hat.
Well, if like, why is he so threatened if he thinks they're ignorant? Like, why would you care if they speak then?
Exactly.
Because he's a cock.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you be like, okay, dig your own grave. You're ignorant. Go speak.
Yeah,
they're obviously threatened by the message.
Everyone's going to laugh at you because you're just a fucking idiot. Surely you'd think that.
Right.
Exactly.
But he's been laughed at before. He knows that his ideas are fucked. He knows that he's the one that's going to get laughed at. So he can't let them speak.
It's
How about
phony.
you?
How about you? Fucking hell.
I disagree, you idiot.
I saw that one when it came out a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, oh god, I've got to do a video on this. I have to do a video on it. And I couldn't bring myself to it. So I'm glad I covered that with you guys. We did it live. We fucking did it live. Final thoughts.
I have no idea what you guys just talked about for the past hour. I'm retarded.
No, you.
Something about libel laws and speech and dispensers.
I have one single pet issue, and that is free speech, and that's why I will never pass up an opportunity to talk about free speech, because that's my pet issue. So me knowing about libel laws and law cases and all of that nonsense that no one really cares about, that's honestly just me being, well, it's my version of being autistic.
What are you studying again? You're studying media or something, aren't you?
Journalism.
Journalism, yeah.
I got to know my way around the media.
Have you learned much, out of interest? Have you learned much about the Magna Carta? Because that's sort of where the whole sort of principle started. I mean, there was no free speech in the Magna Carta, but it all sort of stemmed from
the rule
that.
of law. I'm descended from someone who chartered the Magna Carta.
Really? I heard I'll send a copy of the video to you. I heard a really interesting case against the Magna Carta the other day. A pretty compelling one. It's,
Interesting.
I'll send it to you. Tell me what you think. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us, Gemineye. You fucking dumb cunt. You could have said more. Fucking hell.
I didn't even know what an SJW was until 3 months ago.
Well,
I don't know anything about this. I'm sorry.
Well, lucky you, man. No, it was good to have you, man. Thanks everyone.
Don't give me pity.
It's always awkward to end these. Go fuck yourselves. Fuck off. Cool.
Thanks for my